A big story that's emerging. Dozens of United States are suing Meta platforms. Dozens of states from the United States of America are suing the Meta platforms and its Instagram unit, accusing them of contributing to a youth mental health crisis through the addictive nature of their social media platforms. Now let's just try and break this down to what really it is. The allegations are revolving around algorithms that they claim have been made in such a way, have been designed in such a way to have children hooked on to toxic and bad content. These are cases that are emerging from several states in the United States. Research has shown that young people's use of Meta social media platforms is associated with depression, anxiety, insomnia, interference with education and daily life, according to the complaint. But this is just one aspect of it. Let's just try and understand what really is happening in the United States. It may be just in some states of the United States, but has huge ramifications across the world. I'm being joined by Sri Srinivasan, who's the CEO for Digi Mentors, the former Chief Digital Office of New York, and is in know-how of a lot of these things that are emerging. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Sri Srinivasan. Now, firstly, as I come to you, let me just try and understand what is it that is right now happening in the United States. Some very scathing allegations that are emerging from there against Meta that are going to have global ramifications.
Well, there is a huge mental health crisis in the United States and worldwide, but severe mental health issues that can be attributed in part to this device and how people are using it. You know, in India, how addicted so many people are, millions and millions of people using it every day nonstop. Well, kids in particular are especially vulnerable to the problems that are generated by your phone. And the social media platforms are very much to blame. And many of us have been complaining for years about this. So what you're seeing now is this action being taken. What it'll mean down the road, where, will they settle or will they make major changes? Meta has already said they've instituted 30 different efforts to help with the problem. But the basic problem is how it's made to be contagious, to be addictive, to share the worst information gets the most traffic, the most response.
Sri Srinivasan, this is so warped at so many levels. The guidelines across by pediatricians and doctors say don't get children to use social media, mobile devices and all, screen time per se till they are 2 years. That's the guideline. But children as young as few months are being exposed to screen devices, videos on various social media platforms, and all the way till they are in their school. So much of their assignments are around all of these things. This literally is a parallel universe that has been created for children to feed on, from entertainment to education. Now, these allegations, break this down for us. What does it mean when you say an algorithm is being designed to hook children to toxic content? This is so difficult to understand.
One of the ways to understand this issue is to know that the people who work in Silicon Valley, the people who know the algorithms, who know these machines best, they discourage their children from using their machines and using these tools as much as possible. That's the first clue. The second is the fact that anytime people raise these issues with Meta, with Twitter, with any of the other platforms, they're always saying we're doing our best. It's the user's fault and how they're using it. We also know that even if we all wanted to try and reduce the screen time of our children, that during lockdown, we had no choice. So many families had no choice, where everything moved online. So when you add all of that up, that becomes the problem. But one of the ways we understand this issue is to see how the notifications were designed and tested. Everything on your screen that happens every little icon, the colors, the numbers, the notifications, all of it is engineered to have maximum impact and maximum addiction. And one of the things I tell people is to try and turn off notifications on your phone, and you will see you will use it less. There's also a way to make your screen black and white as an experiment. A few hours a day, if you do it, that will help. Coming back to this.
Right, Mr. Srinivas, I know we're totally up. I mean, this is just the beginning and there's so much to understand about this. We're running short of time, but one last question. In the United States, which the states, so many states now suing the Meta, what really does this mean? What is next?
So now there will be the process of what's called discovery, where we will be able to learn what is the engineering behind the algorithm, because that will come out unless Meta settles the case and pays a huge fine, but they have unlimited resources, so they will not be worried about the money part. It's, will there be more regulation? They themselves have said they welcome regulation, but they know that governments are terrible at regulating these.
Right. Thank you very much for joining us at such a short notice.